All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday night team call. So glad you all can be here. So we are teaming up tonight. We have myself, I'm Brittany Raup, if anyone doesn't know me, and Allie Sullivan. Just wave your hand, Allie. Whoops, you went dark, but okay, Allie's here. There she is. So we are teaming up to just offer you guys the same jewel training that we recently did when we were in Tennessee. It was super fun. You know, we had our retreat there, and Alita asked all of the jewels to share something from their journey. So I shared on effective planning. I'm going to share that with you guys tonight. And we just thought we could offer these pieces of our training to everybody so that you could all benefit. So I do apologize for anyone that was at the retreat, because it's going to be the second time you've heard it, but that is okay. So I think we will just jump right in. Allie, could you just introduce yourself in case anyone doesn't know who you are?
Yes, for sure. So I am Allie Sullivan. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Because I'm like outside my house. So yeah, so I'm Allie Sullivan. I am an Emerald and I live in Connecticut. I'm from New Jersey originally. And I've been doing Plexus, I guess now like 3.5 years. So what's really fun is that Brittany and I joined right around the same time. We started doing the business right around the same time, both with Amber. And so we are like sideline sisters, and it's been a lot of fun to really run this journey together. And what I'm really excited about tonight, and even like when we shared in Tennessee, is that to see that whole panel, there was such different personalities on there, people with such different giftings, different skills, and also different things that they've had to overcome based on what they had when they started or didn't have. And so it's really fun just to see those differences and see that anybody can do this. But also it kind of takes away your excuses, because you're going to hear some things from both sides of the tracks here. And it's going to give you an opportunity to be like, okay, like I have no excuse. If I'm super organized, or if I'm like fly by the seat of my pants, like this can happen for me. And I can't use that as an excuse any longer. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I guess that's it. Is that good?
No, that's perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I'll just introduce myself for your team as well that doesn't know me. So like Allie said, we've been sideline partners, which has been awesome. And it's been cool to, like Allie said, be so different in the way that we run our businesses, but we're like going at the same pace, which is great and it's encouraging. So we're both Emerald, we're both shooting for Sapphire pretty soon, hopefully. And yeah, it's been great to have a sideline partner. So that's one thing I want to encourage you guys is, if you don't have a sideline partner, find somebody who's not, you know, under you in your downline or above you in your upline, that can encourage you and that you can run with. So I always look to Allie for like motivation and like to get me fired up. And then I'm the very like practical, like, here's the steps, here's the things you do. So what's great is we can kind of bring both to you guys and hopefully all learn and grow together. But let me backtrack and just kind of tell you who I am and what I do. So my background is in health promotion and wellness management, and I worked in healthcare for 12 years and I was a manager. But thanks to Plexus, I was able to retire from that. I just do Plexus full-time now and homeschool my kids. And we used to live in South Jersey, which I know a lot of our team here is from. And we moved up to the Pocono Mountains about 1.5 years ago. And it was just kind of part of this huge lifestyle change that has been a huge blessing for us. So Plexus is my full-time. Absolutely love it. Of course, the products have changed our lives too. You guys are all here because the products have changed your life, right? Off of 3 prescription medications for me and my kids. Just love it, and absolutely love being a part of this community and seeing all your awesome faces. So let's jump right in. Allie and I did not talk about who was going to talk first. So what do you think, Allie? Do you want to start and like get us fired up, and then I'll bring it home with the practical?
Sure,
Okay.
we can. So this will also show, yeah. So I guess because that's the order we did it in, but do not let Brittany fool you that she's still going to fire you up as well. So, I mean, literally the notes that I took from when Brittany talked are longer than my own notes. So also for anyone who was there, it might not be exactly the same on my part, because when I went there, I had no notes. So I think I had like 3 bullet points. So that's kind of how I roll a little bit. So the first thing I want to say is just speaking on that personality part is that I've heard a lot of people talk about like I'm an introvert or well that person's an extrovert and a lot of comparison when it comes to that. And I guess let me ask you, drop it in the comments in the chat if you feel that you're an introvert, drop a 1. If you feel that you're an extrovert, drop a 2. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows what that means, but basically an introvert is somebody who like gets their energy from recharge, like they need to be by themselves to recharge. And somebody who's an extrovert definitely gets their energy from being around people. That's me. I'm an extrovert through and through. I could be around people all the time. I could be in like the worst pain of my life. And if somebody comes in that I can talk to, all of a sudden that all like disappears. And I'm just talking and it's a lot of fun. So stop me if I talk too much. But what I noticed about this is a lot of people think, oh, well, I can't do this business because I'm an introvert or I don't like to speak in front of people. It is also hard to do this business if you are an extrovert because it's very easy to do the things that everybody can see, but it's really hard to do the things that people can't see. If you relate to that, drop like, you know, a hand up, drop a 3. Okay, we already used 1, 2, drop a 3, because I think that has been one of the hardest things for me in my journey is that the things that are everyday tasks, the things that we might feel are mundane, but they are literally the bread and butter of our business. They're the most important things we can do, feel boring, or they feel like this isn't doing anything. And they definitely do not give me energy because I'm not necessarily interacting with people. I might be sending messages, but if they're not responding and there's no, like, I can't feel that energy. Like I'll get on phone calls all day long, but sending messages is like draining for my soul because I can't feel that energy from other people. And so just remembering that it's really easy to get on lives. It's really easy to get, it might be easy to get on calls. It might be easy to do the things that you're checking, you're having accountability for, but it's a lot harder to keep that sustainable business going all along. So my point in that is don't judge, don't look and compare and think it's a lot easier for them. Just remember, we all have skills that we can use to our advantage and we all have things that we need to overcome in this journey. But with that being said, I'm sure that everybody on here, like Brittany says, has a testimony. You all have something that brought you here to Plexus, and you have something that keeps you staying, something that has fired you up about this business, about the fact that these products are life-changing, that these products can help people, that this business can help people. And so my like plea to you and to myself is to share that boldly, to share it passionately, to position your posture, which means to decide like, I'm going to step in confidently. If somebody says to me, well, this is too expensive, I'm like, these products are so affordable. I literally was talking to somebody the other day because we're doing on our team, we're doing a 2-week challenge. And I talked to somebody who did a 7-day detox from another company. And it's been like $400 doing this 7-day detox, you guys. Like our products, for what the quality that we have, for the coaching we have, are so affordable. Obviously, you think they're affordable because you buy them. And yet, when we go to deliver these options to other people, we prejudge and we think, well, they're going to think this is so expensive. And that is the vibe that we put off, like, oh my gosh, yes, this is so expensive, or I have to offer them some kind of deal. However, if you position your posture that says, when somebody says, how much does it cost you? Say, that's one of my favorite things about Plexus. These products are so affordable. I will tell you that in the past 2 years, probably 90% of the people that I have signed up have joined with the big packs. When I signed up, I joined with a big pack and I probably overdrafted my bank account, but literally I am a price per pound shopper. So I was like, this is a much better value. I know these products are going to work. Why would I buy the cheaper one that's actually more expensive because it's not a good bang for your buck, right? And so do not prejudge people. Do not say, well, I don't think they can afford it. You say, hey, this is my best recommendation for you. Like, go all in. If they told you your health goals, what's your absolute best recommendation that you would love for them to start with? This is my best recommendation for you. However, you could also, if you'd rather start off a little more slow, you could start with this one or this one. I always present with people a 209 pack and 2 109 packs usually. All right. Unless it's like super clear to me, like this is exactly what they need and they cannot take anything else. Okay. But I will present that and I'll say, which sounds like the best fit for you? And almost every time people will pick that larger pack because they see what an amazing thing it is. So that's one example of positioning your posture with confidence. It is your job to make the offer. It's your job to show people what they can get. They don't know. They don't know what Plexus is offering. They don't know about the different packs. They don't know that there's a fast start program. They don't know that you can get their products covered. They don't know they don't know any of those things unless you tell them. But because we get so nervous in and of ourselves that like they're going to say no, and we make it so much about us and what they're going to think about us if they say no, that we hold back. And literally we are doing them a disservice because we're literally hiding something from them that could help them. Because every single one of you, I'm pretty sure, are here because you know the products can help you and you know that there's a business opportunity and you're taking advantage of it. And yet we think that other people wouldn't want to take advantage of it. Like, I think that that's so funny, right? And I did the same thing. Like, I'm preaching to myself here, but when it comes to price objection, when it comes to asking people for shout outs, asking people if they want accountability, presenting the large packs, putting people in a group chat, we hold back because we think, oh, they're not going to want to do that. You know how I put people in a group chat with Amber or with Megan? I say, oh my goodness, you are going to love my friend Amber's story. Hold on one second. I don't ask them, do you want to be in a group chat? They don't know what that means. You want to be in a group chat? No, I don't want to be in a group chat because it's a mystery and I don't know what that is. But if you say to them, hold on one second, and you just start the group chat, hey, this is like Amber, this is my friend Sarah. Can you please share your story because I think she's going to love it. And there you go. That's it. So positioning your posture, remembering that like our job is to present all the options. Their job is to decide what is best for them. Their job is to decide if they can afford it or they can't afford it. Their job is to decide if they're going to do the shout out or if they're not, if they're going to answer you in the chat or not. That's their job. And so something that really changed it for me in my business was when I heard the phrase, we're not being pushy, we're being professional. And like, I want this to be a business for me. I don't want people to think, wow, she has really crappy customer service, because I have, and many times I don't follow up with people when I should, right? But if somebody tells you that they're interested, they have given you permission to follow up with them until they tell you, please stop following up with me. I changed my mind. I'm not interested anymore, right? They have given you that permission. And I'll tell you what, when I get a $10 coupon from Old Navy and they email me 3 times a day because that coupon is about to expire tomorrow, I'm not frustrated. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to use that coupon. And I'm like so thankful that I got an email and a text. And then later on, when I like literally my inbox has 53,000 unread messages, I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm very thankful because it has said that they're sending me those emails. So that's my big thing, is like, what is holding you back? Every single one of you has a reason that you joined for the products and a reason that you started sharing. And whether it was to get your products covered, whether it was to build a business, whether it was because you knew these products were so good you could not keep it to yourself, why are you holding back from letting other people have that opportunity? Right? Yes, stuff. They can't say yes if you never ask. And the same thing is not like Wayne Gretzky that says like you miss all the shots you don't take. Like it's always going to be a no if you don't offer it, because they don't know any better, right? But when you actually ask, there's an opportunity for them to say yes or no. The problem is that we make their response mean something about us. Their response means nothing about us. Their response is literally them taking personal responsibility for their own decisions. But our presentation of the products is us taking personal responsibility for our decisions and working our business. And so if you want to work this like a business, you have to work it like a business. You have to present, you can't be afraid of people thinking you're selling something. You are selling something, right? One of the best things is that I listen to Amy Paul. Go look up YouTube videos with Amy Paul in it. There's an amazing video on the Diamond Minds page. Like, message me after if you want to be, because I've listened to this video probably 150 times. It's like 11 minutes long. And Amy Paul, she talks about, she's like, those people do not pay your bills, first of all, people with opinions. But second of all, she talks a lot about, you need to own, I am a network marketer. I'm a network marketer. That's what I do. Yesterday, I was at a birthday party and somebody was asking me about homeschooling, and they're like, do you work? and Amy Paul. So Paul is her last name. And she's a diamond. She is Brooke Hemingway's upline, actually, which is fun fact. So anyway, so, and their story is amazing. But I was at a birthday party and this lady's asking me and she's like, oh, you homeschool? She says, do you work? I said, yes, I work from home. And she said, what do you do? Has anybody ever been asked, what do you do? And you just don't talk about Plexus at all? Or you're like, oh, what do I say? You need to get off this phone. You need to practice. What are you going to say if somebody says, what do you do? What is your job? And I said, I work with a network marketing company and I sell supplements. I sell supplements. That's what I do. Okay. And I love it. I coach people towards their health. And you know what she said? Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I am looking for I want to work from home. This lady is a nurse. She didn't look at it like, oh, you do network marketing. She was like, I am literally looking for an opportunity to work from home because I want to be home with my daughter. And right now, she said to me, everybody sees that getting an internet business is a viable option. Okay, so you have to, yes, position your posture to be confident. This is what you do. It's a good thing. You're helping people, right? Do you believe it? Because if you believe it, then they will believe it. So when you're done here, one, you're going to practice answering that question. Okay, write that down. Practice answering that question of what do you do? What's your job, right? If you don't want this to be a side gig, if you want it to be a main gig, then stop calling it a side gig. Just start calling it your business, right? This is what you do. And then you're going to, I don't know, second thing I was going to say, it's going to come back to me. But anyway, I'm going to let Brittany share.
Amy Paul.
Yes. Yeah. If you want me to tag you in that, I totally will because it's amazing. But positioning your posture, having that confidence, and I was going to say one other thing. Oh, to write down, why do you believe that this business opportunity is for you? Why do you believe that this is worth it? You need to remind yourself of that every day. When people start asking you about it and about the cost of the things, you need to stop holding back and you need to step forward with excitement and say, oh my goodness, this is so affordable. Especially because right now, you guys, if people are brand new and they sign up 3 people, they're getting $400 freaking dollars. That's a lot of money. That will cover their products for the whole summer. Thank you, Steph. Estelle, who told me that. So anyway, that is build your belief, be confident in it, and share that confidence with other people. They will be drawn to it. So I'm going to pass it over to Brittany and let her share so I don't just ramble about the same thing that I just said.
So good. I just like Allie, your energy, like I just want to soak it up and then like go talk to everyone. It's so good. So, okay. I am going to talk to you guys about effective planning because once you're in that right frame of mind, and we talk a ton about mindset, right? Like we have Power Hour 5 days a week, so much great mindset training and mindset information, but you have to put it into action. Like Allie said, if you never like open your mouth and tell people what you're doing, all the mindset work in the world isn't going to earn you a paycheck, right? We have to put it into action. So just raise your hand, those of you who have your video on, if you ever struggle with time management. Like, I don't have time. Okay. Every single hand, right? Okay. Because everyone does. Everyone struggles with time management. So effective planning has been such a game changer with me that it's one of my favorite things to talk about because I think it can really make an impact in your business and in your feelings about your business, that it's not overwhelming, that you can do it with a busy life. Some of you work jobs outside the home. Some of you have multiple kids, you're homeschooling, you're running everywhere. I totally get it. When I first started my business, I was working outside the home. Like I told you guys, I was working in healthcare. My little one was 4 months old and I have 2 other kids that are a little older and it was nuts. I honestly had about 30 minutes a day to work my business. And that is what I worked with. I did 30 minutes a day of the things that actually move the needle, right? Not time wasting things, not scrolling Instagram, not, sitting in fear and not sending messages. I did the things that move the needle and it was enough to build my business slow and steady over time so that eventually I could retire and then have that time freedom that I was working towards. So I want to share some of my top tips with you, just so that you can maybe take something away that's going to help you with time management, so that you can work towards your goals. So I have 4 things I'm going to hit on. And the first one is setting a clear goal. Okay. Setting a clear goal. A lot of times we are just kind of working, but our goals are just like, oh, I'd like to rank up at some point. You have to have a deadline for your goals, right? When I, talked about my goals for the summer, I said, I'm working towards Sapphire by August. It was measurable and clear, had a clear deadline, and it also needs to have a pain point. The pain point is, if this doesn't happen, what is the repercussion going to be, right? Like if we're going to take a big trip when I hit Sapphire, the pain point is, if I don't hit it, we're not going on that trip, right? There needs to be something associated with that. Having a clear goal keeps us from procrastinating, and procrastination and perfectionism are both motivation problems. Okay. When we procrastinate, it's because we are not intrinsically motivated by our work. We are basically not feeling it, right? We're not super motivated. So we put things off. When someone texts you and says, hey, I'm ready to sign up, you're motivated and you don't put that off. You pick up the phone, you call them up, you get them on right away, right? But when we are putting off our work, it's because we are not motivated by what we're doing. We're not intrinsically motivated. And a lot of us hide behind perfectionism. Anyone would say like, oh yeah, I'm a perfectionist, because that's me, I'm a perfectionist. Well, perfectionism is the same thing as procrastination. It's just a delay logic that's fancied up to look respectable, right? It feels more respectable to say, I'm a perfectionist, like it needs to be perfect. It doesn't. Done is better than perfect. Sometimes we just have to get stuff done. So don't let procrastination and perfectionism keep you from doing your work. Set a clear goal, drill down on your why, and set those goals that are specific, they're measurable, they're relevant, they're time-based to keep you working in the right direction. So number one, set a goal. Number two, determine your 5 main moves. And I'm working with my team a lot on this. So they're probably like, oh my gosh, here she goes again. Your 5 main moves. What are the 5 things you can start doing right now that will help you leap towards that goal? Okay. Not time wasting things, the things that would actually move the needle. You want to write these things down. Okay. Write your 5 main moves down. This is where you should be spending 60% of your working time. So whether that's 15 minutes a day that you have, or you work for an hour a day or 3 hours a day, 60% of your time should be spent on those 5 main moves. And what I encourage you to do is, when you set out in the beginning of the week and you plan out your week, look at those 5 things. Make sure your activities align with the things that are actually going to move the needle. And then at the end of the week, when you review, and you should be reviewing your week, do a weekly review, pull those 5 things out again, look at what you actually did and say, was I working in alignment with those 5 main moves that I had? Because at the end of the day, those are the things that are going to help you reach the goal that you set. Okay. So number 1, set a goal. Number 2, determine your 5 main moves. Number 3, get organized. You have to be organized with this business. If you have one person on your team, if you're silver, your goal is to grow, right? Your goal is to be emerald, to be diamond. Well, with that comes a ton more people on your team that you need to keep track of. So I want to encourage you to get in good habits, even if you're like, well, I don't have a big team, so I can just kind of wing it. That's true, but that's not going to fly when you're senior ruby or sapphire or whatever, right? The team grows, so you need to have systems in place. So I'm going to give you my practical tips that I use for staying organized. So get a planner, a notebook, an app, whatever works for you, and commit to using it. I love Clever Fox planners. That's what I use. You can get them on Amazon. They're not very expensive. I'm a pen and paper kind of person, but some of you use something online, apps, that kind of stuff. Whatever it is, commit to using it. And then this is one of my top tips. Carve out 1 to 2 hours on the weekend to set up your planner with your IPA for the week. IPA, income producing activity, the thing that you're doing for Plexus. Set it up on the weekend, because you are going to save yourself loads of time during the week if you have kind of an outline for your social media posts, who you're reaching out to, who you're following up with on your team, things you're doing, whatever the things are. If you have them written out and scheduled out, it's going to save you time. And it's also going to spare you from a lot of fear and hesitation. Because if on Tuesday I open my planner and I wrote out 5 people I was reaching out to, I am not going to allow myself the fear and hesitation to be like, well, am I going to message them? What are they going to think? If they're on my list, I'm reaching out to them, right? For me, it takes, like, I wrote their name down for a reason. So the hesitation is gone. I'm going to make that phone call, send that message, whatever the thing is. So schedule your week out. It will save you loads of time. If you are pressed for time, you need to take an hour on the weekend. It will save you multiple hours throughout the week. And then I use my planner to write down specific things. And I want to tell you what they are, because this may be helpful to you. I write down my PV and my points every single day. So under the date, I write PV, points, and I go in my back office and I check. And the reason you do that is so that as you look back over previous months, you can see if you're on track, if you're ahead of last month, if you're a little behind. It just helps me kind of see where I'm at. So write down your PV and points. You also want to be on top of, where you're at. If you're shooting for a goal, you need to know where your points are. I also have a spot for social media. I write down what I'm going to post that day. It might just say homeschool post or a recipe, but I have an idea of what I'm posting. I have my spot for new reach outs. So new people I'm talking to about Plexus. I have a spot for follow-up. So current ambassadors, current customers, my current team, I'm making sure I'm connecting with people every single day. And then tap rooting. If you guys aren't familiar with that term, it means reaching down into the deeper levels of your team to get to know people, to build relationships, to make connections, and to help bring them up, right? So we can train up new leaders, help our newer people get started, make sure everyone has a product schedule. Okay, so I pick a couple people that are deeper to tap root, to get to know and connect with those deeper levels on my team. And then personal growth. This is all in my planner. What am I reading today? What am I listening to? What podcasts am I getting on Power Hour? What am I doing for personal growth and development that day? So I'll just run through those again really quick. Every day I'm writing down PV and points, social media, new reach outs, follow up with current team, tap rooting, personal growth. So I have that kind of outlined every single day. I sit down on Sunday afternoon, I get kind of a skeleton of my week, things that are going on. And that way, when I open my planner that morning, I know exactly what's going on, who I'm reaching out to, and what I need to do. Okay. So that's my number 3 tip, was get organized. Number 4 is just be consistent. You really need to be consistent. And when someone asks me, like, what's your main thing about, becoming a jewel? Like, what's your main tip? It's don't start and stop. Do not start and stop. Just keep going. It does not matter how long it takes you to reach your goal. Sometimes we need to adjust the time frame. It took me 3 years, 2.5 years, whatever, to get to Emerald. That's fine. If it takes me 5 years to get to Diamond, that's fine. We're building something, and we all have different obligations. We all have different life situations. You can go fast, you can go slow. Just don't stop, because when you stop, you lose momentum. So don't start and stop. Be consistent, show up for yourself, keep the promises that you make to yourself. When you plan out your week and you say you're going to do things, do them so that you can grow in confidence, that when you say you're going to do something, you're actually going to do it. And do the things that move the needle, not the time wasters. You do not need to watch every reel on Instagram, okay? You do not even need to watch every YouTube video that's awesome out there. There's a time and place for that, but it's not moving the needle for you, okay? And so, mindset is excellent. All the mindset training is wonderful. I was on Power Hour today and yesterday. They were awesome. You should definitely watch a recording if you missed it. But mindset without works behind it is dead. Do you guys know that Bible verse? Like, faith without works is dead. Mindset without action is dead. You have to put some feet on it. You have to put some wheels on it. So treat your business like a business, and you will get paid like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, you get paid like a hobby. And as you guys know, hobbies cost you money, right? If you get into golfing, it's going to cost you money. Even running, like, I need new shoes every other month. What in the world? I thought running was like a cheap hobby. No, hobbies cost you money. But if you treat it like a business, it may take a little time, but it will pay you like a business. Okay. So I know it's 9 o'clock, but I'll just recap real quick. Number 1, set a goal. 2, determine your 5 main moves, write them down, talk to your upline, get some accountability around those things, get organized. Number 4, be consistent. So, okay, I'm a deadline person. It's 9 o'clock, so we will wrap it up. But thank you guys so much for being here. This was fun. Thank you, Allie, for sharing. And I think we should do this more often.
You're welcome.
Really
yes, we should. Let me give a 30-second thing just for people, because I will say I had to get organized. And Brittany actually told me this when we were at retreat about myself. And I was like, thank you for that. She's like, the thing is that even though you didn't have it like timeline planned out, you knew what you had to do each day, you did it. And I was like, yes, thank you. But for people who are like me and it's hard for you to keep everything in a specific time, I wrote a thing above my bed that said, were you consistent today? And was it worth it? And every night I would get into my bed, and if the answer to the question, were you consistent today, was yes, was it worth it? Yes. If the answer was no, was it worth it? No, it it wasn't. And I would get out of bed and I would set a timer for 15 minutes and I would pick something, like Brittany said, that would move the needle forward. I would get out my list of 100 if I wasn't organized, but I always had a list to work off of, and I would message people. I would make my post. I would do something to move the needle forward. So being consistent is absolutely like the best thing that you can do. Do not quit. Let there be no quit in you. So I will stop. That's just the
I
little
love
thing right
that.
there. Thank you
I
so
love
much,
it.
Brittany. Yes, we should do it more often.
Yes, yes. And I love that. You don't have to be a certain type of person. Whatever organized looks like to you, whatever, doing something every day looks like to you, do that, implement it. It doesn't have to be like crazy me, write everything down, but just find a system and get really, really clear on your goals so that you can stay focused on where you're going, because no one wants to go on a trip with someone who doesn't know where they're going, right? Like, oh, just hop in the car. We're going to drive. Well, are we driving to California? Are we driving to Pennsylvania? Your team needs to know where you're going. So get really, really clear on your goals. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great night. And thanks for hopping on.